I want you to understand that these habits we'll discuss are not external forces imposed upon you. They are patterns of thought and behavior that you have accepted, perhaps unknowingly, as part of your reality. But just as you have accepted them, you have the power to release them and step into your true, limitless nature. Let us begin with the first habit, living in the past. My dear friends, how often do you find yourselves dwelling on past events, reliving old hurts, or longing for times gone by? This habit of living in the past is perhaps the most insidious of all, for it robs you of your true creative power, the power of now. You see, the past, as you perceive it, is nothing more than a shadow, a memory traced in the halls of your mind. It has no substance, no reality, except that which you give it through your attention. When you dwell in the past, you are quite literally creating it anew in your present experience. Imagine, if you will, a projector in a cinema. The images on the screen seem real, don't they? They evoke emotions, trigger responses. But are they truly real? No, they are mere projections, illusions of light and shadow. Your memories, your past, are much the same. They are projections of your consciousness given light by your attention. But here's the liberating truth. You are not the projectionist, bound to play the same reel over and over. You are the projector itself, the source of all images. You have the power to change the reel, to project new images, to create a new reality. How do you do this? By fully embracing the power of the present moment. By recognizing that now is the only point of power. It is in this moment, right here, right now, that you have the ability to choose, to create, to manifest. When you catch yourself dwelling on the past, gently but firmly bring your attention back to the present. Feel the aliveness of this moment. Recognize that in this now you are free, you are powerful, you are divine. The past no power over you unless you give it power. This leads us seamlessly to our second habit, worrying about the future. Just as living in the past robs you of your power, so too does anxiety about the future. How many of you lie awake at night mind racing with what ifs and worst case scenarios? This habit of projecting fear into the future is a misuse of your divine creative power. You see, my dear friends, the future does not exist except as a concept in your mind. It is a blank canvas waiting for the strokes of your imagination. When you worry about the future, you are using your God-given power of creation to manifest the very things you fear. Remember, your imagination is not just idle fantasy. It is the very workshop in which your reality is forged. What you imagine with feeling, with conviction, becomes the blueprint for your experience. When you worry, you are imagining negative outcomes and imbuing them with the power of your emotion. You are in essence praying for what you do not want. Instead of worrying about the future, I urge you to use your imagination constructively. See the future you desire. Feel it live it in your mind as if it were already a reality. For in truth it is, in the realm of infinite possibility, which is your true home, all possibilities already exist. Your job is not to make things happen, but to align yourself with the reality you prefer. When you find yourself worrying about the future, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself that the future is not set in stone, but is clay in your hands. Then consciously choose to imagine the outcome you desire. Feel the relief, the joy, the satisfaction of that preferred future. Let those feelings fill your being. This is not mere positive thinking, my friends. This is the active use of your divine creative power. Now let us move on to the third habit, comparing yourself to others. This habit, my dear friends, is a particularly pernicious one, for it denies the unique divine spark that resides within each of you. When you compare yourself to others, you are looking outside of yourself for validation, for a measure of your worth. But I tell you, there is no standard external to you by which you can be measured. You are a unique expression of the divine. There has never been, nor will there ever be, another being exactly like you. Your journey, your experiences, your perspective are yours alone. To compare yourself to another is like comparing an oak tree to a rose bush. Both are perfect expressions of life, yet wholly unique in their manifestation. When you fall into the habit of comparison, you are denying your own divinity. You are saying to the universe, I am not enough as I am. But I assure you, you are more than enough. You are in fact all that is. For in your true nature, You are one with the divine, one with all of creation. Instead of comparing yourself to others, I urge you to turn your gaze inward. Recognize the divine spark within you. Celebrate your unique gifts, your particular way of expressing the infinite. For it is in embracing your true self, your divine nature, that you find true fulfillment and peace. When you catch yourself making comparisons, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself of this truth. I am a perfect expression of the divine, whole and complete as I am. Feel the truth of these words resonating in every cell of your being. For as you acknowledge your own divinity, you automatically release the need for external validation. This understanding leads us naturally to our fourth habit, seeking approval from others. My dear friends, how much of your life is spent seeking the approval of others? How often do you shape your actions, your words, even your thoughts, based on what you believe others want or expect from you? This habit of seeking external approval is a denial of your own inner guidance, your own divine wisdom. You see, within each of you is a direct line to the infinite intelligence of the universe. This inner knowing, this divine guidance is always available to you. It speaks to you in the language of intuition, of feeling, of inner knowing. But when you habitually seek approval from others, you drown out this inner voice. You replace divine wisdom with human opinion. Remember, no one else can know what is right for you. No one else walks in your shoes, sees through eyes, or knows the stirrings of your heart. The approval you seek outside yourself can only ever be a pale reflection of the divine approval that already resides within you. Instead of seeking approval from others, I urge you to cultivate a deep trust in your own inner guidance. Listen to the still, small voice within. Feel for the path that resonates with your deepest truth. For it is in aligning with this inner knowing that you step into your true power, your divine nature. When you find yourself seeking approval, pause, take a deep breath. Turn your attention inward and ask yourself, what do I know to be true? What feels right to me? Trust the answer that arises. It may come as a thought, a feeling, or simply a sense of knowing. This is your divine self, guiding you towards your highest good. Now, let us explore the fifth habit, negative self-talk. My dear friends, the words you speak to yourself are perhaps the most powerful in all of creation. For these words, these thoughts are the very instructions you give to the infinite to create your reality. When you engage in negative self-talk, you are quite literally programming yourself for limitation and failure. You see, the subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts as truth whatever you tell it repeatedly. When you habitually engage in negative self-talk, saying things like, I'm not good enough, or I always fail, you are instructing your subconscious to make these statements reality. Here's the liberating truth. Just as you have the power to program limitation, you have the power to program success, abundance, and joy. Your words, your thoughts are the tools with which you sculpt your reality. Instead of negative self-talk, I urge you to consciously cultivate positive, empowering inner dialogue. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you deeply love and respect. Affirm your divine nature, your inherent worthiness, your unlimited potential. When you catch yourself in negative self-talk, pause. Take a deep breath. Then consciously choose to rephrase your thoughts in a positive, empowering way. Instead of I'm not good enough, say I am constantly growing and improving. Instead of I always fail, say every experience brings me closer to success. Remember, my dear friends, you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. You have the power to choose which thoughts you will entertain, which seeds you will water in the garden of your mind. This understanding brings us to our sixth habit, perfectionism. Perfectionism. It masquerades as a virtue, doesn't it? The relentless pursuit of excellence, the refusal to settle for anything less than the best. But I tell you, my dear friends, perfectionism is a trap. It is a denial of your divine nature, which is already perfect, whole, and complete. You see, the pursuit of perfection implies that you are somehow flawed, incomplete, in need of improvement. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of your true nature. You are not a human being striving for perfection. You are a perfect divine being having a human experience. The habit of perfectionism keeps you in a constant state of striving, of reaching for a future state of better. But in doing so, it robs you of the joy and power of the present moment. It keeps you focused on what's wrong rather than celebrating what's right. Instead of perfectionism, I urge you to embrace the concept of excellence. Excellence acknowledges your current perfection while allowing for growth and expansion. It celebrates your efforts and achievements rather than constantly finding them lacking. When you find yourself caught in the grip of perfectionism, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself of this truth. I am already perfect, whole, and complete. My experiences are opportunities for joyful expression, not tests to be passed. This shift in perspective allows you to approach your endeavors with joy and enthusiasm rather than anxiety and self-criticism. It allows you to fully express your divine nature in each moment, rather than postponing your joy to some future state of perfection. Now let us explore the seventh habit, avoiding responsibility. My dear friends, the avoidance of responsibility is perhaps one of the most limiting habits you can cultivate. For in avoiding responsibility, you are denying your own power as a creator. You are saying to the universe, I am not the author of my life, but a victim of circumstance. But I tell you, there are no victims in this universe, only creators who have forgotten their power. Every circumstance in your life, every experience you have, is a creation of your consciousness. This may seem a heavy burden to bear, but it is in fact the key to your liberation. You see, when you avoid responsibility, you place the power to change your life outside of yourself. You wait for circumstances to change, for others to behave differently, for luck to smile upon you. But in doing so, you give away your God-given power to get in. Instead of avoiding responsibility, I urge you to embrace it fully. Recognize that you are the author of your life story. Every thought, every word, every action is a brushstroke on the canvas of your existence. When you embrace this responsibility, you step into your power as a divine creator. When you find yourself avoiding responsibility, pause, take a deep breath. Then ask yourself, how have I created this situation? What can I learn from it? How can I use this as an opportunity for growth and transformation? These questions shift you from a victim mentality to a creator mentality. Remember, taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself. It means acknowledging your power to create change. It means recognizing that regardless of what has happened in the past, you have the power to choose your response in this moment, and in doing so, to shape your future. This understanding leads us seamlessly to our eighth habit, fear of care. The fear of failure. How many dreams has it strangled in their cradle? How many divine expressions has it silenced? This habit, my dear friends, is perhaps the most limiting of all, for it keeps you small, keeps you safe, keeps you from expressing the fullness of your divine nature. But what is failure really? Is it not merely a judgment, a label we attach to certain outcomes? And who is the judge? Only you. You see, in the infinite realm of possibility, there is no failure. There are only experiences, each one an opportunity for growth, for learning, for expanding your consciousness. When you fear failure, you are saying to the universe, I do not trust in my divine nature. I do not believe in my ability to grow and adapt. But I tell you, there is nothing to fear, for you are an eternal being, a spark of the divine. No experience can diminish you. No outcome can lessen your inherent worth. Instead of fearing failure, I urge you to embrace it as a teacher. See every failure as feedback, as valuable information guiding you toward your highest expression. For it is often in our greatest challenges that we discover our greatest strengths. When you find yourself gripped by the fear of failure, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself of this truth. I am an eternal being, whole and complete. Every experience enriches me. Every challenge strengthens me. I cannot fail, for I am always growing. This shift in perspective allows you to approach life with courage and enthusiasm. It frees you to take risks, to try new things, to fully express your divine nature without the paralyzing fear of what if. Now let us explore the ninth habit, lack of self-discipline. My dear friends, self-discipline is often misunderstood. Many see it as a form of self-denial, of forcing oneself on unpleasant tasks. But true self-discipline is something far more powerful and liberating. It is the ability to align your actions with your highest intentions, to bring your outer world into harmony with your inner vision. You see, each of you has within you a vision of your highest self, your most divine expression. This vision is not something imposed from outside, but a knowing that comes from your deepest essence. Self-discipline is the bridge that allows you to bring this vision into reality. When you lack self-discipline, you are at the mercy of your fleeting moods, your temporary discomforts, your habitual patterns. You allow the small everyday self to override the wisdom of your higher self. In doing so, you deny your own divinity, your own power to shape your reality. Instead of viewing self-discipline as a burden, I urge you to see it as a form of self-love. It is the highest respect you can show to your divine nature. When you exercise self-discipline, you are saying to the universe, I honor my highest vision. I commit to my own growth and expansion. When you find yourself struggling with self-discipline, pause. Take a deep breath. Connect with your vision of your highest self. Feel the power and aliveness of that vision. Then ask yourself, what action would my highest self take in this moment? Trust the answer that arises and act on it. Remember, self-discipline is not about perfection. It's about consistent effort, about choosing again and again to align with your highest intentions. Each time you make this choice, you strengthen your connection to your divine nature. You expand your capacity to create your desired reality. And finally, we come to our 10th habit, neglecting self-care. My dear friends, your physical body is the temple of your divine spirit. It is the vehicle through which you experience this earthly realm, the instrument through which you express your divine nature. When you neglect self-care, you are not honoring this sacred vessel. But self-care goes beyond mere physical maintenance. True self-care nourishes your mind, your emotions, your spirit. It is about creating space in your life for joy, for rest, for reflection. It is about honoring your needs, respecting your boundaries, and nurturing your deepest self. When you neglect self-care, you are saying to the universe, I am not worthy of care and attention. But I tell you, you are worthy of all the care, all the love, all the attention you can give yourself. For in caring for yourself, you are caring for a unique expression of the divine. Instead of viewing self-care as selfish or indulgent, I urge you to see it as a sacred duty. Just as you would tend to a precious garden, tend to yourself with love, with attention, with devotion. For as you nurture yourself, you increase your capacity to express your divine nature, to bring more light into the world. When you find yourself neglecting self-care, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what does my deepest self need in this moment? It might be rest, nourishment, movement, connection, or quiet reflection. Trust the answer that arises and honor it. Remember, self-care is not about pampering yourself occasionally. It's about consistently honoring your needs, respecting your boundaries, and nurturing your whole being. It's about creating a life that supports your highest expression. Now, my dear friends, as we come to the close of our exploration of these 10 habits, I want you to understand something crucial. These habits, these patterns of thought and behavior, are not your true nature. They are simply habits, learned responses that you have adopted over time. And just as you have learned them, you can unlearn them. You see, you are not these habits. You are not your thoughts, your emotions, your past experiences. You are the awareness that observes all these things. You are the divine consciousness that animates your being. This awareness, this consciousness untouched by any habit, any pattern, any experience. When you recognize this truth, when you identify with your true nature rather than with these temporary habits, you reclaim your power. You step into your divine inheritance as a creator, as a shaper of reality. So I urge you, my dear friends, to be vigilant. Watch your thoughts, your words, your actions. When you catch yourself falling into these habits of mental weakness, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself of your true nature. Choose again, this time from a place of power and divine knowing. Remember, every moment is a new beginning. Every breath is an opportunity to realign with your highest self. You are not bound by your past, by your habits, by your perceived limitations. You are free here and now to choose again. As you go forth from this place, carry with you this knowing. You are a divine being, perfect, whole, and complete. These habits we've discussed are not flaws to be corrected, but opportunities for growth, for expansion, for more fully expressing your true nature. Embrace these opportunities. Use them as stepping stones on your journey of self-realization. For as you release these habits of mental weakness, you make space for your true strength to emerge. You allow your divine light to shine more brightly in the world. And know this as you do this work, as you consciously choose to align with your highest self, you are not just transforming your own life. You are contributing to the transformation of the entire world. For we are all one, all expressions of the same divine consciousness. Your growth, your expansion, your light touches us all. So go forth, my dear friends, with courage and conviction. Recognize these habits when they arise, but do not judge them. Simply choose again. Choose to align with your highest self, your divine nature. For in doing so, you are fulfilling your sacred purpose. You are becoming who you truly are. Remember always, you are powerful beyond measure, loved beyond imagination, and capable of more than you could ever dream. Now go and let your divine light shine.